On this night, we bless the first flame, the light willing to stand alone, to speak out when others stand back, to burn brightly when others are indifferent.
This is the Book of Life. I'm Heidi Rabinowitz. At the Association of Jewish Libraries Conference in June 2018, I bumped into author Jacqueline Jules. We grabbed a quick interview after lunch in the busy dining hall about her newest picture book, Light the Menorah, a Hanukkah handbook. The book offers meditations for candle lighting, and we'd love to hear the thoughts your family shares during this ritual. Call in or leave a comment at bookoflifepodcast.com. Jacqueline Jules, I'm so happy to see you here at the conference for the Association of Jewish Libraries, and I'm so excited to see your new book, Light the Menorah, a Hanukkah handbook. So tell us about this book.
Well, it's illustrated by Christina Schwarner, and it started with when my kids were teenagers. There was this book that I got that had little reflections to read right before you light the candles, and they were very geared toward a teenager. I always felt like it really made the moment before we lit the candles a more meaningful moment for our family. And I kept saying we need to have something like this for young families. And I'd like to read you just the first poem for On the First Night. On this night, we bless the first flame, the light willing to stand alone, to speak out when others stand back, to burn brightly when others are indifferent. At Hanukkah, we recall the Maccabees, the small army of determined fighters who won a battle for religious freedom against King Antiochus in the 2nd century. The holiday celebrates the courage to try, even when the odds are against you. And it goes on just for a few more sentences. It's not too long for, a young family to read the poem and do the reflection just before you light the candles, just to get you in that mood where you think about what this holiday means. I looked into the rituals for candle lighting. We have a helper candle. So the reflection for the fourth night is about the helper candle and to remind you to think about the helpers in your lives. There's also a Hanukkah rule that we are not supposed to do anything while the candles are burning. So there's one reflection that reminds us to be mindful. There's also a law about a kosher menorah that all of the candles should be on the same level. So the reflection that night talks about how each candle should have a pedestal the same height as the one beside it, so the joy of one does not diminish another. So just a few minutes to think about those things. After the reflections for each night, there's the story of Hanukkah, there's questions and answers about how to celebrate Hanukkah, there's the dreidel game, there's songs, there's crafts, there's recipes, so it really is a handbook for how to celebrate Hanukkah.
I'm excited about this because this almost seems like a Haggadah for Hanukkah. That's beautiful.
Actually, I submitted it as a Hanukkah Haggadah, but we decided to use the word handbook, which I think is more
universal.
More universal. So the fact that you caught that was the plan all along, that is great. I feel like you got my book.
Great.
I'm delighted by the illustrations. I'm very grateful to Christina Schwarner that it's such an attractive book. And also the illustrations show different kinds of families, updated multicultural view.
Oh yeah, I see a guy in a wheelchair.
Right. So really the illustrations show a more diverse Jewish family. I think that's very important as well.
That's wonderful. Well, I'm excited. Christina Schwarner always does such good work. It seems like Christina Schwarner illustrates books that are about being spiritual or being thoughtful or about emotion, and so it's a perfect match for this book.
Well, thank you so much, Heidi.
Thank you for speaking with me.
Hi, I'm Paul Zielinski. I'm the illustrator of All of a Kind Family Hanukkah.
I'm Emily Jenkins. I'm the author of All of a Kind Family Hanukkah, and I'll be joining you soon
on the Book of Life podcast.
I dedicate my appearance on the podcast to the memory of Sidney Taylor.
And I'll be dedicating this episode to my wife, Deborah. But if I weren't dedicating it to her, I would definitely be dedicating it to Dental Place Advanced Cosmetic Dentistry on Lower East Side of New York for reasons that you'll find out if you listen to the podcast.
If you enjoy the Book of Life podcast, please become a patron at patreon.com/Book of Life. Leave a review on iTunes or a comment on our blog at bookoflifepodcast.com. You can also like our page at facebook.com/Book of Life podcast. Follow us at twitter.com/Book of Life pod. Email us at bookoflifepodcast@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 561-206-2473. The Book of Life is a podcast service of the Feldman Library at Congregation B'nai Israel in Boca Raton, Florida at cbiboca.org and is supported in part by the Association of Jewish Libraries at jewishlibraries.org. Our background music is provided by the Freilach Makers Klezmer String Band. Thanks for listening and happy reading.